Hey, what's up? Today we are going to talk about news packages. Go ahead and get over it. News packages. Why are we doing news packages? Again, they're the easiest. It really is. And that's it. Someone else, the story already tells itself. The story happens. All you have to do is report on it. You don't have to get creative. It's really quite simple. That's why we're doing news packages to start. And because our next assignment, you're going to need news packages. So that's why we're doing it. So what makes a good news package? Starting with a stand-up. Stand-up is what you think when you think news.
What is up? That's because it's hot outside. Stuff like that happens. Was that live? Are we live? Oh, brother.
That's a stand-up. Stand-ups are really important because they get you into and out of the story typically. They allow you as the anchor or reporter to set up what to expect and to give a little bit of a personal touch. You're going to have to be on camera on this assignment. I know for some of you, but for others, you're excited about that. Either way, you're going to have to be on camera. And when you're on camera, think about what's in the background. For example, if I'm here in my office recording this video as a newscast and it's about how great the weather is, I've done myself a disservice. I should be outside in the 10-degree weather, filming in the 10-degree weather, talking about the weather, not in my office. So make sure that when you're doing your stand-up that it makes perfect sense as to where you are. And it also adds some context. If you're in a basketball gym, as soon as the viewer sees, oh, well, there's such and such in the basketball gym, they probably know that you're going to talk about basketball. So the stand-up is very, very important. The next thing is voiceover. Voiceover's tough. Voiceover's that weird awkwardness of I'm in a room talking and there's no one listening. But you got to do it. I honestly suggest you do your stand-up and your voiceover at the same place and time because of the noise in that area. So if you're at a game and you're doing voiceover, not going to work that well. But after the game, if you do it in the gym, it sounds like you're in the gym, which is where the story's happening. Voiceover, the job of voiceover is to get you into and out of different elements. So for example, if I'm talking about a basketball game and I have a stand-up and we're going to talk to the coach and the coach talks. Well, instead of coming back to me as the stand-up, I can show footage from the game, which is B-roll, and get back into the story with voiceover. So I can say, okay, well, after the game, we also talked to the player who scored the game-winning bucket. And I don't have to get back to me. I don't have to be visually jarring to the viewer. And we can talk about that as we move on later. Now, interviews are super important. Interviews are tough. Here's my thought on interviews when it comes to news. Unless you're Tom Rinaldi, Oprah Winfrey, on 60 Minutes, or the guy from CBS Sunday Morning, I don't need to hear you or see you because you don't add enough to the story to truly matter, for lack of a better word. So write your questions so that your interviewee can respond in a way that tells what the question is. So write what are called open-ended questions. So if I were to ask, hey, how was the game? That's a terrible example. I'm going to leave it in here so you can see how bad it is. So instead of saying, hey, what's your favorite color? Well, the favorite color is going to be blue or red or black or whatever. You get one, maybe two words. But if you ask that question and then come back later and say, how does the color black make you feel? And they're going to say, well, the color black, I mean, it makes me feel sleepy, or whatever the response is. I'm really struggling for examples right now, but you get the point. You want open-ended questions so that your interviewee can respond in a way that gives the viewer the full story.
It was great, and apparently I've never been on live television before, but apparently sometimes I don't watch the news because I'm a kid, and apparently Grandpa just gives me the remote after we watch the Powerball.
Here's a pet peeve. Know what you're talking about. I had someone do an interview last last year. The person, and I'm not knocking band people. Please don't think I'm knocking band people. The person was a band person, and they were trying to talk football, but not on a surface level. They were trying to get deep into football, and they said something to the effect of an offensive linebacker. The person they were interviewing was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So they completely were discredited. So know what you're talking about. That's why I'm not going to give you an assignment of you should cover this. I don't know what you know. But if sports is your thing, do something about sports. If theater's your thing, do theater. Make sure it's something you know so you can come up with some good questions. Now, probably the most important part of a final news package is B-roll. B-roll allows you to cover, it allows you to do a lot of stuff. It allows you to cover edits. It allows you to get in and out of interviews. It allows you to tell a story that, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So if I give you a second of B-roll, that's 30,000 pictures in that second of time. That's 30,000 words. So B-roll is not something to just throw on. Now, shooting B-roll it's an art. It's something that most high school students don't have the patience to do, because you're going to shoot a lot of stuff you're not going to use. You need to shoot wide shots. You need to shoot medium shots, tight shots. You need to shoot low angles, high angles, shoot from eye level, pans, tilts, dollies, zooms, everything. My personal rule is I want to shoot 20 clips of B-roll 20 clips of B-roll for every interview I have. So if I interview 2 people, I want 40 clips of B-roll. If I interview 6, I want, what's that, 1,200? No, 120. I can't math. It's a Tuesday. I don't math well, ever. So I want to do 20 per clip, per interview, and then 20 more, because I know that I'm going to get in there and go, man, I really wish I had this shot. So I'm going to put some links to some news packages that I did last semester in the description below. But I want to watch this news package that I stole from High Point University. It's a basketball news package. It's a great example of everything that I talked about. We'll get back to you. Just watch.
The intra-triad matchup at Fleming Gymnasium came out in favor of High Point as the Panthers defeat UNCG by a count of 81-72. Joe Weil with you here. Thanks so much for joining us for our post-game coverage here on HighPointPanthers.com. The Panthers were down by as many as 15 in the first half before they cut the deficit to 8 at halftime and then took the lead for good in the fourth quarter. Cameron Brown had 28 points in this game, setting a career high in that category along with a career high 7 rebounds, and Kat Harris pitched in 19 points in this ball game as well. Cameron Brown and head coach Jenny Hendricks had a chance to talk about the victory after the ball game.
I'm just really proud of the kids. I think one of our goals coming into this season was to have a winning non-conference season. We did that. Another goal was to beat our in-state rivals. For the most part, we did that. So just really proud of them. Just really enjoyed the effort the whole game.
This was a huge team road win, not just because of our record. We wanted to have a winning non-conference record. That's one of our major goals that we set at the beginning of this season. We knew coming into this we were 5-5. We knew this was a big win for our goals. We knew that this was a big win because it's an in-town rivalry. So it was just a really good team win, and I just wanted to do everything I could to help the team get back in it.
Confidence is everything. When we're confident, we're pretty good. When we have a lot of self-doubt, we're not. And so I think, if anything, it just gives us the confidence we need.
Tonight's victory against UNCG for High Point marked its first against the Spartans since the 2014-2015 season. So High Point enters conference play with a 6-5 record. The Panthers will take on Gardner-Webb at the Millis Center on January 2nd to ring in the new year. Our pregame coverage on the High Point Panthers radio network starts at 6:30 with tip-off time coming at 7 p.m. We certainly hope you can make it out to the Millis Center for that ball game. Once again, our final here from Fleming Gymnasium in Greensboro, North Carolina. High Point 81, UNCG 72. I'm Joe Weil, and thanks for clicking here on HighPointPanthers.com.
All right, so you saw everything you needed there. Shot on location for the stand-up. Had 2 good interviews, good B-roll, had graphics. Man, those graphics look great. The reason I like to use graphics is so I don't ever have to say, hey, I'm Tom White. If I do a stand-up, boom, it's got a graphic there. That saves me half a second that I can put into more of my story. So take your time, come up with a good topic, plan to shoot a ton of B-roll. All right, B-roll, 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 B-roll. I don't know how else to tell you that you need to shoot a lot of B-roll. Shoot more B-roll than you think you'll need. You can delete it. You don't have to have it. That's the beauty of it, is it's not like you're paying for film. You're just paying for bits on a card or a camera that you can delete when you're done. You cannot go back and reshoot something that's already happened. But if you shoot it the first time and you shoot it right, you're not going to have any problems at all. So thank you guys for watching. I can't wait to see what you create in terms of news packages. And email me if you have any questions.